Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Megan Kargher with the COTO Report, and I am here today in England on the Isle of Wight with Mr. David Icke, one of the world's foremost experts on the New World Order. He has written over a dozen books on governmental conspiracies and the nature of reality. All of his books and films are available on davidicke.com. That's davidicke.com. I have read a number of his books and I highly recommend them, or you can see him live at one of the many lectures he gives internationally. Thank you for having me here today.
Pleasure.
I would like to start by asking you about your new book, Human Race, Get Off Your Knees. The Lion Sleeps No More.
Yeah, it's nearly 700 pages and 355,000 words and 325 illustrations and 32 pages of original colour artwork by my artist friend Neil Icke. And it's just a monumental work. What I do with the books, every single one of them, is there comes a point where I just feel I need to start another book. I just know when that moment is. It just feels right. And often when I start, as with this one, I don't know where it's going. So the first part of it, the first part of writing it, is to write those things, those dots from previous books that need to be in this one, otherwise you don't see the significance of the new dots. Because when you do connect dots, you have to put all the dots in. And then once I'd done that, by about midsummer, and if you like, the canvas was ready, then it kind of started, and I started getting things coming into my life and information coming into my life. It's where they've all gone, and it's just built and built and built and built. And it was funny because by August I said to Linda, who runs the whole book operation, this one's going to be about half the size of the last one. By November it was bigger, because that's the way it goes. And I think one of the things that came to me, I don't want to talk about this in too much detail yet, because I want the book to be out so that people can see the backup information. But the major thing I think that came out of it is the moon is not real. The moon is not a heavenly body. It is some form of construct. And I have described that. I presented the evidence for that. Among which is, if you look at the physics of the whole thing, then the Earth may well not have a satellite, but if it did, it should be around 30 miles round. The moon is over 2,000 miles round, which is, in terms of the physics of it, is utterly ludicrous. But I then go further and suggest strongly that from the moon, within the moon, a broadcast is coming that is connecting in to the collective human mind through the reptilian brain overwhelmingly, but in other parts of the genetic system as well, which is feeding us a fake reality, very much along the lines of the Matrix movies. But the thing about the Matrix movies, the way they portrayed the illusory reality was brilliant, but they gave the impression that outside of that was a real solid world where they were in their ship. There is no real solid world. It's all consciousness and decoding information. And so that was something that took, again, the same process that has happened with every book. And it goes like this. This chair I'm sitting in now, I sat down here about 6 months ago just to start writing, and I had this absolutely overwhelming knowing that hit me. And it just said the moon is not real. The moon is a construct. Look at the moon. Within minutes, I'd gone into the internet and I'd found a book called Who Built the Moon by two researchers, one of which wrote a book called The Hiram Key, which was very well received, about Freemasonry and all that stuff. Anyway, from that moment, Megan, stuff about the moon and it not being what we think it is was coming to me from all angles, and this is the process that has happened with every single book since I had my rather amazing awakening in 1991. And so I've added to it and added to it and added to it, and the situation seems to me very strongly to be this. We hear about these various cycles of what we call time, like the yugas in the Indian culture, like the Mayan calendar and the circular time loop, if you like, as I call it, the time loop. Well, I've started to understand how this works, and I've started to understand more and more clearly what this energetic change is that's taking place, because it is. I mean, my first book I ever wrote, it's up there, called Truth Vibrations.
Which I've actually read. It's a good book.
Yeah, well, that, I called it Truth Vibrations, and if you've read it, because you'll know that because of this phenomenon I came across right at the start of my awakening, which was there was a vibrational change coming that was going to act in effect like a spiritual alarm clock to wake people up. Now, what is this? Where is this? What's happening? And this is how it seems to me, very, very strongly, the situation we face. As scientists have now say they've established, there is a black hole at the centre of this galaxy, and there's black holes all over the bloody place. I always say this: through the black holes come the base vibration, and depending on what that vibration is, it elicits information from the suns in the form of photon energy, photon information. And as I've written in my books many times before, the body is a computer, a body computer system, a receiver transmitter, a crystalline receiver transmitter. And we are decoding information all the time and turning it into this apparently solid world in exactly the same way as your laptop there will pull the wireless internet out of the unseen. We're just doing exactly the same, but obviously on a fantastic and more sophisticated level. And so you have this vibrational cycle that goes on within this virtual reality, this place to experience and all the rest of it, coming out of the black holes. And over a period of what we call time, this vibrational cycle changes. And as it changes, it elicits a different kind of information, reality, from the suns. And we then start to decode a different background reality to our experience. So part of the cycle goes through what some of the ancients call the Golden Age, and then it goes through an age of which is anything but golden and other forms of experience, and then the cycle starts to repeat itself. This is what the ancients are talking about with their circular time. And it seems to me very, very strongly, again, that we are now, people talk about the age of Aquarius and all that stuff, we are definitely moving into another phase of this cycle. And what it's doing, it's changing the information coming from the sun in the form of photon energy, which we're decoding. And so our reality is starting to change.